Dude, what's up? I have an awesome interview for you. I'm excited to get to this. We're speaking with Cory Reynolds, and he's from CRC Guitars. And Cory, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
So, Cory, before we get too far into the interview, even though it just started, I like to ask everyone, like, how did you? Well, I guess I have a different interview, different opening question for you. Is obviously you make guitars and stuff, but do you play guitars? And if you do, well, how did you get started playing guitars?
I do play very poorly, but I started playing on bass actually.
Oh, nice.
Um, so you know,
What brought you down like wanting to play an instrument? Like what like what kind of music do you listen to, or like what was it that kind of spurred that on?
let's see. I mean, we got to go back in the hop in the time machine.
Yeah, no, I
Like
hear
when I
you.
was like, you know, 12, 13 or so, me and my younger brother, he actually wanted to play guitar, and like we both had an interest in it, but he was, more so interested in playing. So like he wanted to play. He ended up, I can't remember if we got him at the same time or not, but like he wanted to play guitar, and it just kind of made sense. Like if we're gonna play and like have a band, we're gonna need a bass player. So I was like, I'll just play bass, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But so like we both got instruments, and we both started taking lessons at the same time. Um, and
Did,
I mean,
did
like
you
we
guys
always,
jam in the same bands at all? Were you?
oh, we did for a long time, yeah.
That's cool.
But we were listening like, let's see, what were we listening to back then? Like Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. That was like a huge influence for us,
Nice,
which
nice.
which is a very stereotypical answer, but
No, I hear you. Mine's Metallica. It's
I
what.
mean, yeah, with Metallica, but like everything, like this is going back to like the late 90s ish, so whatever was hugely popular at the time, but
Yeah, well, for me, I'm dating myself, but it was when I saw the Metallica one video in like 1989 when it first came out. I was like, oh my God, that's
yeah.
that's what I want to do. I want to be in a warehouse jamming on guitars. That's exactly what I want to do. Like
Yeah,
that video right there is what made me be like, oh yes. And like even
yeah,
the Metallica and Justice for All, and when I heard it, I don't know.
that
I've said this before in other podcasts, but I think I was kind of a weird kid growing like. I guess there might be other kids too, but like I remember being like, 9 years old. It's like 1988 or whatever. I'm like 8, 9 years old, maybe 10. And I'm like loving heavy metal. I don't know where
yeah,
it came from. I don't know how it happened, but the second I heard like
yeah,
Anthrax and Metallica, I was like, oh my God, this stuff is awesome. And
yeah. I
I
mean,
always I
and
always wanted.
Justice.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, no,
I
no.
was just gonna say Justice for All was my favorite Metallica album. That came out the year I was born. There you go.
Oh,
That's if
there you
you
go.
do
Well,
the math, you can figure out how
there
old
you
I
go.
am.
No, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, it took me a few years. I didn't start playing guitar until 90. Well, I got my car accident in 92, but 93, let's say, I started playing. And so it took me a few years, but to get around to start playing. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was definitely the Metallica one video was what made
yeah,
me want to start playing. So
yeah. Like just to go back to your question about like what we were listening to or what was like an influence for us. Like both of my parents, they like my father's favorite band is Metallica, and my
nice.
mother, she loves like Queen and Prince and stuff. So like we
Yep.
had
Yeah,
good influences coming from
absolutely.
from our parents. So like it was always rock and metal
Was
and
it
stuff
like
like
a
that.
musical house, where like were your parents always playing like music, like they always had music cranked in the house or anything?
Um, it was mostly us cranking the music in the house,
Okay, okay.
but yeah, I mean,
My kids would accuse me of cranking the music.
actually, I do have like very vague memories. Like when I was, I don't know, 5 or 6. We lived like in an old farmhouse that had a stairway that had like a little balcony thing,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
my mother would be like cleaning the house and blasting Cheap Trick. So I would be playing air guitar on the little
Yeah, no,
balcony, putting on a
totally,
little concert. So
totally.
yeah,
Yeah, my kids are like,
so
oh my God, Dad, what is this cattle decapitation? Oh my God,
I just saw them. I just saw Cattle
dude, I
Decapitation.
wanted to see that show. It was in
Uh,
Worcester, right?
yeah, it was in Worcester at the
Oh my
Palladium. It was so
God.
good. It
Oh
was so good.
man.
I went because Rivers of Nile played
Oh
with
yeah,
them,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're one of my favorite bands currently. So
Yeah,
I haven't
Cattle
missed it.
Decapitation's one of my newer
They were
favorite
so
bands.
good. Their brand new record is fantastic.
Oh yeah, it is sick. They are a
Yeah,
sick band. Like
uh,
all those guys are like disgusting musical, like
they're
musicians.
they're
Like
amazing.
yeah,
Like
like
I
the
actually
guitar.
got I got out of the pit just so I could watch them play.
I hear you.
Like
No, I can't imagine I can't imagine the guitar players are running around because they're playing some sick like
yeah,
they're like
they weren't
they're
really
just they're
going
just
too
playing
crazy.
like arpeggios all over the place. Just
Yeah.
like it's like,
They're
oh my
standing
God.
still, headbanging, but they're going, wild.
Yeah, no, yeah, those guys are sick. That's awesome. So all right, so when you guys are playing guitar, how did it get to like, you know what? Instead of playing these things, like I want to make these. Like, how did you kind of start getting interested in that? Was it like a slow thing, or was it all of a sudden just kind of
It was definitely a slow. Like I said, before we started recording, I've only really been building for about 10 years, but like I
okay?
started playing, like, but I have to do the math, but over 20 years at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
The like 23, 24 years that I started playing. But like, my brother and I, we played together. We found one of my best friends. He's still one of my best friends. He played drums, and the three of us played together for a long, long time.
Well, that's cool. You're able to do a three
Uh,
piece then.
yeah, we did that for a little while. We
That's
had other
cool.
people come in and out. We had, an extra guitarist and then a singer, and we did some stuff. We recorded a few things like semi-professionally. We didn't get too far, but
Yeah,
we did mostly covers and stuff like
that's
Coheed and
cool.
Cambria, Taking Back Sunday, like those kinds of things because they were huge at the time.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, to when I got into building, I guess this is a not a terribly long story, but like I grew up in Connecticut and then got married and moved like an hour and a half away in Massachusetts. So like I moved away from my brother and my family and everybody, so we weren't really playing together anymore.
Yeah.
So like I didn't really have anybody here that played. So like I got my wife had bought me an acoustic as a wedding gift right before we got married,
That's
just a
nice.
guitar.
Yeah.
So like, I had dabbled with guitar here and there before. So, but I wanted an acoustic because I figured I'd be playing by myself. So I kind of taught myself all of that. But
How
then
is that going from bass to guitar?
I still play guitar like a bassist.
Is that good or bad?
It's power chords. I'm not very good.
No, I was just
Uh,
curious because people always say like, "Oh, play the bass," and it's not. That's not true. Like, play the bass. It's easier. It has four strings.
it's not.
That's totally
It
wrong.
the bass is as easy as you want to make it, or as difficult as you want to make it. It depends. Like,
Absolutely,
I mean, if
absolutely.
you're depends on what you're playing. If you're playing like Matt Freeman bass lines from Rancid, it's not exactly simple.
Yeah, I guess the only thing for me, I'm imagining going from basic guitar, it's like the string different, like the thickness of like it'd be getting used to that, I guess, more than
Yeah, but
anything.
like if I started on bass, so that wasn't a big deal. Like I had a harder time like doing chords on guitar because I couldn't
That
get my
makes
fingers
sense.
to all crunch
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. That
when I
makes sense.
when I play power chords, I actually play with my first and fourth finger instead of my
Really?
first and third because I'm just used to playing with my pinky with playing with bass.
That's
Like
interesting.
I know guitarists struggle with using their pinky because they just don't, build up the
It's
strength of
not
it. But
used that
like
often.
if
Yeah, yeah.
I use my pinky more than almost any other finger playing
That's
on
really
anything.
interesting. That's
So,
interesting.
but yeah, it
You'd
was a
be able
little
to
weird going
you
from
could do
the other
some
one.
cool power chord tricks doing that if you're used to that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got a pretty good spread. I got a good
Yeah, no,
stretch
yeah,
now.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah,
I
no,
can't
that's
remember
really
how many
cool.
frets I can. Oh, I could probably figure out how many frets I can stretch right now. It's like six from first
Damn.
to six, which is a good. I guess a decent stretch.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Uh,
Uh, so get back. I'd like to hear you finish how you started.
oh,
Like,
right. Where
yeah.
was I? So yeah,
So
like
you
I had
moved
gotten an
away.
acoustic, moved away. Like I wasn't, playing with anybody. Just doing like little acoustic things by myself, whatever. Um, I had gotten a different job. Obviously, I needed a job, but uh, I got to go back a little bit further.
Yeah,
My
no
first
problem.
job, I started working for a family friend doing construction stuff, which is like
Okay,
what I had always wanted to do. They built houses, they did
that's
everything from the
cool.
ground up. So I learned a lot of stuff, and it scratched a creative itch. Like I like
Absolutely.
building things. Like
Yeah,
obviously, I like creating music. I like doing things. I was always an artistic kid. Like I always played with Legos, stuff like
that's
that.
cool.
Drawing, whatever, any kind of art
Yeah.
form, any outlet. I was always into that stuff. So like I started doing construction stuff with them. But then I moved away and I ended up working for my wife's uncle doing construction for about a year. and that was like the 2008-ish
Oh, the
market
house, yeah,
crash.
the house crash.
So like
Yeah, yeah.
then we had I was out of a job because there was no construction work
Right.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But then I ended up getting a job for a cleaning company
Okay.
that specialized in kitchen exhaust system cleaning,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which is awful.
Yeah, I've seen those jobs. It doesn't
It's
seem
dirty and disgusting.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they did other like janitorial style stuff like cleaning offices and like cleaning grocery store floors. Like they kind of
Yeah, industrial
diversified
almost
with
kind of
in that.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I worked for them for like 8 years. So like I really wasn't playing anything in like musically. I wasn't doing anything creative as far as my job, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
kind of like wearing on me for a
Yeah.
while. And it's just like I got to the point where it's like I need to do something creative. I need an outlet because I was playing a lot of video games and just not really doing anything.
Yeah, like that wasn't cutting
Yeah. I
it.
mean, it kind of was. This is a little offshoot, but like I was playing Halo Reach,
Oh, nice.
and it has like a what they call the forge mode, so you can build your own maps with it. So
Oh, okay. So
instead of
you
playing
were you
the
I
main game, I
see.
was still building inside
That's
of the video
funny.
game.
That's
So I
funny.
did that for a long time, but then it's like I just wanted to like create something. And I don't remember exactly how it hit me, but I was like, my two favorite things are making things and music. So it's somehow like it hit me. I should make the things that make music.
I hear it. Yeah, no, I
So like,
it's really cool. Like when I talked to Josh and he told me about it, he was like, "Oh, dude, I need to talk to him because I just feel like this day and I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm kind of judging by I have 5 kids and
oh wow, I have
like
six. Beat you on that one.
oh damn.
Not that it's a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
competition.
you're the first person, dude, that's like had more kids. Not that 5 is a lot, but this day and age it is, you know.
Five
But
is a lot.
yeah, this day and age. But it's like all of my kids are like I don't want to say that. I mean, they are curious and so I just back in the day, like for you, even though we have like a 10-year difference between you and I, it's like I just feel like we were a little more curious as kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we'd
Yeah,
mess with shit more, break stuff more, or like you know what I mean? Like and like
I
if
blame
I
the internet.
no exactly, but like what I'm getting at though is like with less curiosity, I guess is the way to frame this. We're getting less and less kids that are like, oh, hey, let me build a guitar, or hey,
Oh yeah,
how do electronics work, or how you know what I'm saying? Like, no kids like I'm not that we have Radio Shack anymore, but it's like
right,
no kids going into a place like that and soldering stuff and like you know what I mean?
right.
So like it's
Yeah,
cool
I
to
mean,
hear you being like, hey, 10 years ago, I was like, let's do this, you know? So like
right.
that's why it's cool to hear your story because I want other people to be like, oh wow, that Cory dude didn't know what he's doing for 20 years and he started doing,
I still don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what you're talking about.
well, let's not
I'm
fill
making
him
it
in on
up.
that.
Yeah, no, no, cut that out. No, no, like I
But
was that kid. Like I was like taking bicycles and things apart and just to take them apart and put them back
yeah,
together. I was
yeah,
always
yeah,
doing something like that, you know?
yeah. No,
So
totally.
like
So,
if I
so
had a pen in my hand, I was taking the thing apart and then putting it back together. Like didn't matter.
absolutely. So once you were like, oh, I know, I'm gonna make things that make the music. How did
Yeah.
you
Well,
how
it
did you
really
get
wasn't
started?
it really wasn't so much that I was just go like I had that idea. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do. It was also combined with the fact that I wanted an electric guitar, but I didn't have one, and I was like, I bet you I could build one. It was
Oh,
kind of like, I bet you I could build it. So it was
ne
kind of a combination of those two things, like the realization that I should be building them, but I also wanted one, and I was like, I
necessity
bet you
is
I
the
could build
mother
one
of
cheap.
invention. Necessity is the
Yeah,
mother of invention, right? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
So like I figured I could probably build one cheaper than I could buy one, which is not true. I learned that fast,
That's
but like
yeah.
I wanted to do it. I didn't care what it was really going to cost me as much as like I wanted the experience. I wanted to be
Right,
able to do
right.
it.
Exactly.
So so I
So so
started.
so what did you do? Like, I mean, obviously we had the internet then. So like,
Yeah, I
did you
mean
hop
I
on the
just
internet? Did you like
yeah.
what were kind of like how did you kind of get started?
So I have raging ADHD and an internet connection. So I can if once I get something in my head and I want to research it, I am all in.
Yeah, I hear you, dude. I
So
get I get lost.
so
Like
like
I disappear to
for
people.
exactly. So for like months, I was just like researching everything I possibly could just watching every video I could find on YouTube. Like I already have like a background in building things, you know.
Right.
So like
And
I
you did
figured this will be
construction and
easy.
stuff. So
Yeah,
you're like, oh, I can do this.
this will be easy. That's not even the same, not even close to being the same thing. As far as building a house and building, you know, like fine furniture and or an instrument, it's very wildly different. But um, so where was I going with that? I don't even remember.
Oh,
That's the ADHD.
we had the internet. Like, I was like, did you hop on the
Yeah.
internet or whatever to
So
start?
yeah, so I start researching like everything and just like compiling all the stuff that I think I could possibly need. So I actually bought a neck, like a pre-made neck for the
Okay, I've
first
seen
one.
those. Yeah,
Because like I wasn't confident in myself enough to
because you need
like,
like
you
a
know,
lathe,
build.
right, to kind of do it.
No, no, you don't need a lathe. No,
Okay,
it's
okay,
very simple tools, honestly, to make a neck. You don't need
okay.
much. But I wasn't confident in like cutting the fret slots accurately and getting all that. I just or shaping it. I kind of figured that was harder than it
Then just
actually
buying the
is.
neck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like it was a cheap neck and it was fine. It still exists somewhere as far as I know because I don't have it. But I think I got plywood. I still have the first body that I ever made. It's hanging up in my shop.
That's cool.
Uh, but because it wasn't good.
Yeah, but
It was
still,
it kind
you want to keep your first
Yeah,
attempt or
I
whatever, you
keep it
know.
hanging up there just to remind myself anytime I get down on myself, like you know, like make a mistake or whatever. I'm like, I'm not good at this. I should quit or something, you know? It's
Oh,
like just
that's
you look
actually
at
kind of
it
that's
and
cool.
just remind myself, like, okay, that's where I started. This is where I'm at now. Just, you know, we'll
And this isn't
power
crap,
through.
and I'm not stupid or whatever. Like that's actually pretty.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's actually really cool that you do
Yeah.
that.
So like
Because honestly, man, I know for I've talked to someone the other day, and they said I need to interject a little bit more about myself, and
mm,
I am. I mean, everyone says they're their own worst critic and stuff, but
yep.
I'd have
Yep.
to say I'm the worst person. Like I am so hard. I am so hard. Like as encouraging and everything I am to everybody, I'm that hard on myself.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like
absolutely. I understand
so like
that.
I don't encourage myself. I insult the crap out of myself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's the worst thing to do to you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm finally learning that like I need to stop saying that stuff to myself because
Exactly. My
you
inner
start
dialogue is brutal.
yeah, no, exactly, dude. Exactly. So like that's really cool that you have that pinned up to be like, no, man, like stay
Right.
focused and don't beat yourself up over this. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's really cool.
So like yeah, so I after like I was getting to the point of almost getting that one done and just realizing it wasn't gonna happen, like I kind of realized how much I enjoyed the experience. So like I immediately started two more.
So how long
It
did it
wasn't
take
one more, it was two.
how long did it take you to finish kind of or what like, finish the first one and be like, let's try it again. Like how long did it take you to finish it?
Well, I still have the second one I ever made, and it's also in my shop, but it's not hanging up. It's kind of in a pile.
Okay.
But that one was playable.
Nice.
So it took a while because
Like a few months at least.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
at least a few months.
Because you did
So like
everything by hand, right? Like the building the
yeah,
bot, so you didn't have
and I
any.
didn't have like all the right tools. I was just kind of hacking it
I
away,
hear
you
you.
know.
Yeah, no, I hear
Um,
you. Yeah.
so like I started building two, and I have this problem where I get way in over my head on most projects. Like I can't just build something and be like satisfied with it. I have to like try something new or do something completely wild and stupid on each one. So like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started building one that was a solid body, and then I started building like a semi hollow. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm building a semi hollow.
Yeah, dude, I love semi-hollow, but I have a left-handed Dean Stratty. It's a Dave Mustaine
Oh, nice.
Flying V, and
Oh, that's cool.
actually this one it's one of nine that were made,
Oh,
and
wow.
and because because when Dave Mustaine was still being sponsored by Dean, he did this performance with the San Diego like orchestra, and they made him a guitar after like the Stradius, the violin maker. So
Hmm,
that's why they made the V a semi hollow. It's freaking awesome. I
that's
love it.
interesting.
It is an awesome guitar.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Did he
I
sign it or anything? Because there's so few
it,
of
it
them,
it
or
is signed, but I mean
oh, that's cool.
it's probably like a like, yeah, he signed it, but not like that day, like the day it was finished and being made. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
they have his signature somehow and they put it on the guitar.
Oh, it was just
Like
like a print of his signature and it
yeah,
was
exactly, yeah,
yeah.
exactly,
All right.
exactly.
I'm sure it's still worth something to like a Megadeth
Right.
fan.
Yeah. No. But I just love. I more got it because I was just like a semi-hollow V. I fucking need that.
That is cool. Like I don't think I've even heard of a semi-hollow V.
Yeah, you need to look. You need to look it up after.
I'll
It's
have to
it's
look at
called it's
yeah,
called the Dean Stratty. Like it's just
like
short
a
for
like
Stratty.
Stradivarius. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
that's cool. Yeah, I'll
Exactly.
have to check that out.
But yeah, then I
Um,
then I stumbled across another a company I became a huge fan of within the last few years is G&L. And
yeah,
they make a semi-hollow Telecaster body. I want one of those bad. Like the
yeah.
Telecaster style body. I got they call their Telecaster is called the
I know what you mean.
ASAT. It's the
Yeah,
ASAT.
the ASAT. Yeah,
Yeah, and they I for some reason I got it a few years ago, and I'll tell you what, I fell in love. Like I used to be
yeah,
like, I'm only playing V's ever, but then
yeah.
I tried this out, and this is I'd almost say like this ASAT. It's their tribute series, so it's just kind of like their off the line their $600 guitar. But I would almost say this thing plays better than the V's that I have. Like I just love the neck on it.
Yeah.
I love it when a guitars are not if a guitar's neck heavy, I want nothing to do with it.
Oh yeah.
Like like if I put a guitar on and it does a neck dive, I'm handing it back to
So you're not an
you.
SG guy then, huh?
No, well, no, oh, why are
I
SG's
hate
neck
SGs.
dive?
Oh, I hate SGs.
Cause I was gonna, you know what? I wanted to get one. I want to get one because Frank Zappa is like my most favorite guitar player in the world,
Yeah.
and that's what he played. So I was like, I gotta get an SG someday. But now if they neck dive, I don't know if I can get one.
Oh yeah, they're the worst. They're
No
that's
kidding, because the bodies are
Les
so thin, right? And
the bodies are thin and the way the place where the neck meets the body is so far out. It's just it
really,
has a weird balance point.
no kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, I
because
hate that. Then that
yeah,
sucks. Okay,
yeah,
well,
SGs are known for neck dive and Les Pauls are the opposite. They're just
yeah, those things
yeah,
weigh 30 pounds, so you
right. And all the
gotta.
weight's on the back end of it. So now the back side of it's falling, the neck's coming up. So
I actually
and
had
then you
I had a Les Paul Standard in the 90s and I kicked myself. Not really because I wished I had it for playing, but just I wished I had it just because Les Paul Standard. But
mm,
I play heavy metal and I did back in the day, and those things are so I don't know if like I'm not a guitar luthier. I don't know if this is true or not, but to me, it felt like because the guitar was so heavy, it took away from like the slice and the attack of my like distortion, if that makes
yeah,
any sense.
I would say in my opinion, because uh, what really is going to change the sound of an instrument as far as that and the construction, it's not the
Mm.
wood, it's the densities of things, it's
Right, but yeah, because I
how
always
solid it is.
yeah, because I always have EMGs in my guitars.
Mm,
And one of my first guitars I got was like a BC Rich Warlock, and I'm almost sure the thing's made out of like plywood or like basswood. It's
yeah,
like crazy
yeah,
light wood. That guitar sounded sick.
yeah.
But like once I got the Les Paul, I was like, what the hell's wrong with this thing?
Yeah,
Like
like a few different things like if the neck is glued in or bolted on or neck through, like those things are going to change your sound more than
okay.
like the material it's made out of,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but
That that,
like I was
that so
saying
that
before,
yeah, that brings up the
yeah,
discussion I was asking you before. Like, how do you feel about wood? Like, do I have to have the mahogany body and this and that? Like, what's
like
your opinion
the
on the?
only thing that I would say, like we were kind of talking about before, um, the species of wood doesn't matter so much, but like what does matter about the wood is stability and durability. Like
Mm,
you can make like the first tellies were made out of pine. The bodies were made out of pine,
no kidding.
which is fine. And they're
Huh?
just
That's interesting.
pine's very soft,
Yeah, yeah.
and it didn't really, I bet you it sounds exactly like every other telly ever made. It's just it's soft and not very durable. And as far as the neck wood, you want something stable that's
Oh, so
not prone to
that why a lot
breaking
of is that why a
and
lot of
not prone
necks
to
are
moving.
maple then?
Yeah, well, maple is cheap and readily available,
Okay.
and it's very, very stable. So, and obviously it's very strong, so it's not prone to breaking.
Mm.
So like the reason why Leo Fender chose the woods he did was because they were readily available and cheap, is not because of what they sounded like.
Oh, like because Strats are usually out of like all alder bodies or something
Alder
like.
usually, yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
got his hands on a crap load of alder, and that's just what they made.
That's
And I don't know
interesting.
how he got all the rosewood for the fretboards, but I think same thing. Somehow he got his hands on a lot of cheap rosewood, and
That's
that's just
interesting.
so then
That's
you get the tone snobs saying, "Well, that's how he did it, and that's why it sounds like that." And it's like, well, you can't prove that if you're running
that's
it through a
true.
Marshall JCM 800 with the overdrive cranked all the way. They're all going to sound the same.
Yeah, that I mean that's what I'm saying at the end of the day. It's like I'm blind and I can't hear the difference. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
I hear guitarists like on YouTube videos be like, "Oh no, you need to have this," and I'm like, "I don't know, dude." And they'll play, "Oh, can't you hear it?" I'm like, "No, I
Well,
can't.
it's like,
It's in your head, dude." Like,
yeah,
that's my opinion, but
like
so
I think what they did, like companies like Gibson, they kind of romanticized it. Like they got their hands on a ton of mahogany. Like, oh, the mahogany is going to make it change the
right,
sound. And like,
right.
what
I mean that
changes
makes
the
sense.
sound is everything in between your signal path. Like
Exactly.
if you want to change it up a little bit, take out a tone knob or take out,
Huh.
you have less wire for your signal to travel through. Change out your bridge to a different material, or just
That's
little
interesting.
tweaks
So,
like
so
that.
even that would make a difference, huh? Like
Yeah.
the material made out of the
The,
bridge.
the sound of your instrument is the sum of all its parts.
Yeah, yeah,
But like if you add, a different pedal into your signal chain, it's going to change your sound slightly.
yeah. No, totally. I've
Every
seen.
single thing you do will change your sound.
Yeah, I saw one video speaking of pedals the other day. It's like this guitarist was like showing his pedal board. And he's like, yeah, and I have this one. He's like, I don't really know what it does. He's like, and I don't use the pedal like I think how I'm supposed to. But he's like, look what it does to my guitar tone, and you could hear the difference. And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude. Like, it's
But
like,
you know what? You know what I would say to all those tone snobs is who cares? Shut up and learn how to play it better. Like nobody cares. Nobody in the audience at your show is going like, "Oh, that's a great tone. I wonder how he got that tone." No, they're like wondering how you're playing that. They don't care what it sounds like. I
secretly,
cannot think of
secretly, I'm
myself.
secretly though, Corey, I'm doing that. I'm like, oh damn that guy.
I mean,
I am the musician that is always I a preset on my amp is called Tone Demon because you're always chasing the perfect
well,
tone.
yeah. I mean, when you're sitting in your studio, your bedroom or whatever, playing by yourself, yeah, like I'll sit here and I'll tweak knobs the entire time just trying to get that tone. But it's like if you're playing in a band setting, it
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
no,
matter.
yeah. There's a point where it's like, all right, dude, you just need to play now. Like,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Just
absolutely.
play.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like
So
work
like,
on your sweep picking, work on something else. Like don't worry about your tone so much. Just play it.
so
Spend
like,
some more time practicing.
were you worried at all when like did you start tearing apart guitars like because I'm imagining like people are like oh I don't want to touch pickups and I don't know what the hell I'm doing like
Yeah, no, I
people are
did.
probably
Yeah,
afraid of like breaking shit and stuff like
I did.
okay
Um, I got into doing like little repair stuff just so I could learn more. Like the same thing with like tearing apart bicycles.
yeah
It was
absolutely
like I found some friends that were willing to let me, they had some instruments that are like, yeah, I could if you could set it up and or attempt it, sure. So like they just gave me some stuff and I messed around with it and just started learning how to set everything up and just do little repairs and figured out how to wire stuff.
that's
So I had
cool
a lot of friends with a lot of faith in me
yeah yeah no
not
totally
to ruin their
totally
stuff. So yeah, I just started doing repair work and tearing stuff apart. Like I have a Squire Strat that is basically a Frankenstrat because I've just
so
torn it
much
apart and
different
done
stuff to it
right, just experimental stuff,
exactly
whatever I.
yeah no
But
totally so
and that's
like
why
kind of back to like the woods on guitar and stuff so in your opinion then would it be it's more does it more comes down to almost like the electronics in a sense then like
absolutely, yeah. It's like
yeah
if you take your pickups and you like raise or lower them, that's going to change your sound too. Like if you
Yeah, oh,
think you
yeah,
have a bad,
absolutely.
your guitar has bad tone, there are little tweaks you can do to change it, but it's probably not your guitar. I mean, if we're talking acoustics, then the wood matters, you know?
Right,
Because
because
now you're
it's
planing
getting the
things
sound
down to
out of
very specific thicknesses and you need it to resonate and
yeah.
do certain things. Yeah, then it matters because it's got its own amplifier built in. It is, it has to do it.
Speaking of acoustics, I don't think he's open anymore, but there's this little guitar store in my town in Connecticut, and he was an older dude, and he like started the guitar store because he like retired, something happened, and he's like, ah shit, I need to like make money again or whatever. So he opened up this guitar store, and he would give classes on building your own acoustic guitar, kind of like from scratch.
Oh yeah, that's
And
cool.
so I was in in his store one day and we were talking. I was like, "Oh, really? That's cool." And he actually showed me an acoustic guitar that was like kind of half built already. And it was really cool when he showed me like on the inside. He was like, "Oh, do you see these right here?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That sets like the like the sustainability within the guitar and stuff." I'm
Mm.
like, "No shit." And he's like,
Yeah, the
"Yeah, if you
bracing
add,
on the inside.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly." He's like, "If you add or subtract this, this is gonna give it more bass or more treble." I was like, "No kidding. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that." I was like, "That is
That's why
so
I don't
cool."
build acoustics.
It was wicked. It was wicked intricate. You wouldn't realize like all that was on the inside of it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like I
Like
don't know.
the professional acoustic luthiers, they're wild. Like the they're just in there with like little hand planes and taking off little shavings, and that changes the instrument like completely. Just getting the bracing just right and all that stuff. It's wild.
Yeah, he had this his own little custom. He used like thousands probably of like these elastic bands. And
Yeah.
he's like, this is my own little setup I came up with, and he showed me. And that whole elastic band setup is what he used to keep everything together. Like when he was
Hmm.
like, putting all like the body of the outer of the I don't know what you call it, like the outer edge of the main body. He would
Yeah.
use the elastics to keep all that together. I was like, that's
Yeah, like the
freaking cool.
binding and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. I was like, that's freaking cool. He's like, yeah,
yeah,
normally you need like this wicked expensive machine, but he's like, I figured a way around it. I was like, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I've seen some other people like that have gotten into using elastic bands, like really heavy duty, thick ones, just
Yeah,
to like
exactly.
glue on like the fretboard onto the neck
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
you're getting so like such different and even pressure by wrapping it all around there. But I don't know. I have
So,
clamps. I'm just gonna keep clamping it.
yeah, yeah. So, like, I don't know so have you built basses and guitars then?
Um,
Or have you only
kind
done
of.
guitars?
I have I haven't finished a bass yet, but I actually have one that's right behind me here that is
Okay.
mostly done.
Okay.
Um, I have two of them. One is much further along than the other. But
And
yeah,
so
this
you do all your stuff by hand, you were saying before, right? You don't use the
yeah,
CNC machine or
yeah, I
anything.
don't have a CNC yet.
Yeah, that must be so like what's that like, working on like a body? So like what kind of tools do you use to do that? Is it mostly
Like
like a planer and stuff?
routers. Yeah. Like I
Okay.
work in a fairly, I'm using air quotes, fairly high end wood shop now.
Okay. Okay.
So I have access to a lot of really nice big tools. So but like for just breaking down material. But I have a decent shop in my house now after years of compiling tools. But yeah, it's like, bandsaws and routers mostly. Mostly
Okay.
routers. They're the main
Yeah,
they're the star of the show.
yeah, I was gonna say because that does like the parts to put the pickups in and stuff too, right? You
Yeah,
can
they're
hollow out
routing out cavities and
yeah.
stuff like that, and like the pocket for the neck, even the shape of the body. It's like mostly routing. Yeah.
That's interesting. So could I because I was talking to you about this before, like before the interview, like I was interested in getting to like guitar luthiering and stuff. Do you think a blind person could build a guitar like that? Like
Honestly,
using
I've been thinking about it ever since you said it. I'm like, I
be,
wouldn't feel
because I
comfortable teaching you.
because
Like
because one thing I was thinking of was like, oh man, if they have like the damn it, like the templates for the guitar bodies and stuff,
mm,
I was like, would I be able to trace it? Like I was just wondering, like because I see there's even templates for like guitar cavities, like for the pickups and stuff
Mm.
and all. So I was like, could I trace it? I was like, I don't
I
know, you know,
I
like
don't even know, man. Like it's so hard being,
because it's
I'm
obviously
a
a visual
visual.
thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
visual person. Like that's how it's hard to say like you're a visual person to somebody who can't see. But like I think it, it's you. I don't know, man. There's just spinning sharp blades, and if
I hear you like that. I don't know
I
I don't know
don't
what it
even
I don't
know.
know what it entails. That's what I'm saying. Like because
Yeah, I don't
this
know.
was
It would
years
be
ago.
sketchy.
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be like risking
It's like
losing fingers and
using
stuff.
like a
But
using like a bandsaw, for instance, which I used to like rough cut out stuff. Like you're following pencil lines pretty closely, so like it's
yeah,
not
that's some
something you'd be able
intricate
to do.
stuff. Yeah, no, I hear you. I
Yeah,
hear you. No,
but like
I thought it would have been a funny and interesting
I mean, you could
concept, but
definitely carve a neck. You could definitely do that because that's mostly by feel. Like you're watching it to see how much you're
that's
taking
true.
off or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's mostly by feel.
Mm.
As long as you knew you had some parameters where you knew you had to stop here and
Exactly.
there,
That's what I was thinking about with the body. We're cutting it. Like I would know,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I said, there's a reason why I haven't done it yet.
yeah, yeah. Like the power tools thing, that would make me nervous for you.
I hear you. No, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Like I said, I thought it'd be an interesting concept of like a
Yeah.
blind guy,
You could
building.
you could definitely do some of the neck work for sure.
I think I
That would
could, worst case scenario, I think I could assemble a guitar.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if I had a neck and a body and like I don't know if I could do the
Oh,
soldering. Maybe, I don't
you know what
know,
you should
but
get is you should try the kits that
I
they'll
did
build you.
I did
Oh, you
buy
do.
one and
Yeah.
my friend still my friend still has it. We were supposed years ago. He still has it though. But you know what's funny? It's a 7-string SG body, so it sounds like I'm not gonna want it.
No, you're probably not. Yeah, then the neck is even bigger, so it's even heavier.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man. So like
but yeah, I
it,
feel like a kit would be ideal for you.
yeah,
Like
no, totally. I should try it again because it would be cool to like be like, hey, I put this together. You know what I mean?
exactly, yeah.
Like, so like, all right, someone's listening to you and they're like, all right, this dude Corey is building basses and guitars or whatever. Like, how do I get started? Like, should like how do like where do they go to maybe find wood or like like what would be the some of the things that they should like start looking at to like put
I
stuff.
mean,
Actually, would a guitar kit be a good thing for someone? Like,
for somebody that wants to just
because at
yeah,
least
actually, I never did.
you're not building like the actual, but at least you can assemble the guitar and get like a taste of it that way.
Yeah, I would say a kit is a great starting point. I wish I had done that. I didn't
Mm,
because,
mm.
I like to jump in the deep end
Well, I mean,
without
10
learning how to
years ago,
swim.
10 years ago, were they making guitar? I mean, I don't know
Oh
if they
yeah.
were. Okay, okay,
There
I
was
wasn't.
those have been around a long time. I think those have been
Okay,
around since like the 80s at least.
real. Okay,
Uh
I
yeah.
wasn't sure.
I mean,
Okay,
they're much easier to find now,
yeah, it
but
seems
like
like they're a little more readily available now. Like,
yeah, they're not. I mean, you could go hop on Amazon and probably spend like $99 and get yourself like a Strat or a Tele kit.
yeah, yeah,
But like those are mass produced, you know, in China and they're not nice.
yeah.
So
They're
like
not
as long as you
exactly.
don't have like huge expectations for them to be nice, if you just want the experience to put it together and like get a taste of it, it's a cheap, easy thing to do because you don't need any like major power tools. You could probably get away
Yeah.
with like
Oh yeah,
screwdrivers,
no, because exactly because everything's already cut. Like the frets are
Right,
already on the
everything
neck.
it's already done.
Yeah, you just need to
Yeah.
kind of put it together, really.
What you need to learn how to do is like level the frets and
Okay.
clean those up and then put it together because there's no way they're gonna come level.
Okay. Okay.
But like that's another thing I want to do is like get a kit and do a review at some
Yeah.
point.
Well, actually,
Like build it and review it.
speaking of that, you were mentioning you're going to start a
Right.
YouTube channel. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about that because I honestly, this is a genius idea, and
Right. Because that was before we started recording, right?
yeah, I
So
really think you're gonna do well with this, honestly, dude. I think the people, if they once they start finding your videos, because I don't
yeah.
want to say too much because I want you to say what you're doing, but
Right. So yeah, I'll start from the top on that one again, just for the people that haven't heard the story yet.
yeah,
So so like I had been watching these reviews, like, so you'll go on YouTube and you'll find guys that buy like the cheapest guitar they could find on Amazon or whatever, right? Or eBay, or just they'll just find cheap guitars and do reviews on them, and that's it. And they're usually, oh yeah, it's a cheap guitar, and
Yeah. Oh, it
it's
plays like
whatever.
crap or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like crap. It plays like crap, whatever. Or it's, surprisingly decent for its price. And I was like, that's fine, but I could do that, review these guitars, find the problems, and show you how to fix it. Because most of the time, if it just needs like basic fixes or setups, there's ways to get around those things and do it with like basic household tools instead of, I have
Yeah.
gauge nut files for filing down, the nut for the strings, and I've
Mm,
spent hundreds of dollars on those files. If you're buying a cheap guitar, you're not going to drop $300-400 on very
right.
specific files that you're never
Right.
going to use again. But there are other things you can do to do that, and I will show you how to do that. So, like I was telling you, I have a guitar sitting in front of me right now that I just bought like a week or two ago on Amazon, and I'm in the process of doing my very first video. And like I was kind of blown away by how nice this thing is.
Mm.
I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because you're going to have to watch the
Yep,
video,
exactly.
and then I'll show you. But like I was kind of blown away. Like all I have to really do to this thing is like a basic setup.
Now
And
for the people listening, if they don't like what is a setup if they don't know, like what is
so like
that?
that would be setting your action for your strings, intonation, that kind of stuff. Just like little tiny tweaks here and there just to get it to play more comfortably. Because
And you made a good
like
point, like these guitar, whether or not they come from China, whatever. If you're paying, let's say, $200 on a guitar, there's no way, no
yeah,
way
there's
they
no
spent
way it's set
time
up.
setting it up. They
Well,
they
that's
they put it together and they put it in the box. Like
exactly. They intentionally set the action high on these so they don't have to level the frets. So that way you play it and you don't get any dead
oh, no
or buzzing
fret
frets.
buzz or anything like that.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
they'll level out the fretboard, they'll press in the frets, and then they'll just ship it. It's gone. So like
So
this
really
one
these
has
guitars are like they're they skip the fine tuning on them, kind of.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like that's the whole thing. So if like this guitar, this video is going to be easy. It's just going to be like, here's a quick setup, and I'm going to highly recommend if you're a beginner to get this guitar, or just somebody that wants a beater or something to mod, or
Mm, mm.
something you can gig with that's not really expensive. So if you break it or it gets stolen, you're not worried about it. Like this is a good instrument for those kinds of people. So like that's the whole idea. I'll review it. I'll show you how to fix it, recommend it or not, one way or the other. I think I've been watching so many videos on YouTube and like starting a channel, and everybody's like, well, find your niche and find, the thing, find your audience. And they're like, that's the biggest hurdle. I'm like, I already have that. So maybe this will take off.
Yeah,
I've
no,
already figured out
seriously, dude.
exactly what I'm doing. I'm not just like some random vlogger that has no idea, like just wants to start a channel.
Yeah,
That was never the goal.
and honestly, you have even more of it. You really drilled down in your niche because there are, like you said, there are those guitar player channels that are just like, oh, review this Amazon guitar, or this one or
Right.
that. But you take it a step further where it actually becomes a useful video. Like,
Right, exactly. I
you
want
know
to
what
be
I
able to
mean?
give
Where
give something to the community. It's not just like here's some mindless entertainment.
right. And not
You
not
know?
only that though, but indirectly you're going to be teaching people how to do like intonation, how to set act, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like so
Exactly.
yeah, so they're going to be learning stuff
Because
as they go along.
yeah, I mean, let's face it, most guitarists are broke as it is. So they're not going to pay somebody to go if you're buying a $159 guitar, the chances are you don't have enough money to pay somebody to set this thing up. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
but
And
like one of my
you're gonna spend as much setting it up as you did buying the
exactly,
guitar.
exactly. So like one of my one of my philosophies, I guess you could call it, is that there really aren't any bad guitars. There's just poorly set up ones.
No, I hear
unless,
you. I hear you.
unless like the neck is twisted or something's broken or just like something is really, really bad. Yeah, even a $100 guitar can be really nice if, you take the time to, as long as, barring any craziness, it should be playable.
Yeah,
But like
no,
the thing is,
totally.
for a lot of beginners, it's like they'll pick up an instrument and it'll fight them and they'll have a hard time playing it. and they just don't realize that you can have it set up and make it play nicer. So like they end up putting it down because they're not enjoying the experience.
Yeah, like the
So
action's
like
insanely high and like, wow, this
exactly.
sucks.
And it's like your fingers, it hurts and it's just
Right.
not fun. And like you're not getting good sounds out of it because all the stuff is fighting against you. And it's like I was telling you before, like I didn't when I was learning how to play at 12 or 13, I had no idea you could do any of those things. And
Right.
I had a Squire P bass that was set up like garbage. And I learned how to play it, but but that was, through sheer determination.
Right, exactly.
And the internet didn't really exist on a large scale at that point,
Yeah,
so
no,
it's like
no.
go outside or go play your instrument.
Yeah, no, totally.
So but like for new like beginners that want to pick it up, like if you can afford it, bring it to somebody, have somebody set it up, because it will make your experience so much better. Or
Yeah,
watch my YouTube channel and learn how to do it yourself.
exactly. Well, honestly, that's another thing you could do too is not only show people how to like touch up like the inexpensive guitars, you could do quick like 5 minute, 7 minute videos or whatever, like, hey,
Yeah.
here's how to quickly do blah 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 or whatever.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah. Like I don't
yeah,
want to limit myself to just being the review repair guy. Like I would like to be able to do little tips and little tricks and
yeah, absolutely.
anything like music related. I would like to like interview musicians or,
Yeah, totally.
just I don't want it to just be that. Like I would like the channel to grow, but like this is where I'm starting. This is going to be the roots of it, you know.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
would
no,
love to do like album reviews, like not that people would really come for that, but like if it was there,
well, yeah, I
I
mean,
want
if
I
you already
want to
have
be
the,
anything under the music umbrella, like
yeah,
as long as it fits into guitar related music, yeah. And I feel like that's what I would like to do. But
yeah, I mean, Corey, it's awesome having you on. The reason why I wanted to have you on too is just because like I mostly interview musicians or people in bands or whatever, and like that at least currently, my goal is to have on other creative people within kind of the music industry or whatever, and like the point of it is to show people like, look, even though you might not be playing an instrument, you could make them. Like there's
right.
lots of other creative outlets out there. Because I would imagine there's people that are like, oh, I can't play guitar, so like I can't be involved. Like in the you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like in the music industry or
There's
whatever.
there's
Like,
so many different avenues in the music industry. You don't have to play the instrument. You could be a sound engineer,
right, absolutely.
you could be doing something. You could be a lighting engineer
Yeah,
for a band, It doesn't have to
totally.
be musically instrument related or whatever. You don't have to be talented in that way. There's so many things.
Yeah, no, and I love just the grit that you have too. Like, we need more people like that where it's like I'm not gonna let something stop me. Like you said
Oh
with
yeah,
with playing your bass. I learned how to play it through sheer determination. Like
exactly. That's kind of who I am. It's like I just if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
I hear you, dude. No, that like I said, it's inspiring to hear you to be like that. And yeah, I just hope people listening are encouraged by your story. Is there anything else you like wanted to add or say get a chance to say something else you didn't get a chance to say or talk about anything else?
Oh, I'm sure there probably was, but I'm gonna blank out immediately now.
Now
Like,
that you're
oh,
put
I'm
on
on
the
the spot.
spot.
I gotta come up
Exactly.
with something. No.
Exactly. But
But
do
I
you,
mean,
I'll
if I
put a
was gonna
link.
say anything, I would say like if I can do this, so can you. You can do anything. If you just try, you can do it. Like don't doubt
Honestly,
yourself. Don't listen to the haters. Just do it. Just
no,
start.
seriously, even though I say I don't like saying it, but it is true. It's just do it. Like Nike said, it's like
It's as cheesy
you're
and
the only one holding yourself back from doing,
exactly as cheesy and cliche as it is, it's true.
Yeah, no, it really is.
You're the
Like,
only person. It's that voice in your head saying you can't do it, or all these people are gonna, hate what you do. Like, don't listen to it.
yeah,
Nobody cares,
actually,
actually.
yeah, no, that's a good way to come back around to kind of, when you're your own worst critic, you need to just silence that person,
Exactly, yeah.
like we need to get better at telling that person to
Get
shut
yourself a
up.
good friend to like bounce things off of. I've got a couple of people
That's a big
like
help. That's a big
like
help.
people that I know will not, they will give me straight answers. If I say be brutally honest, they will. So
Yeah.
like get yourself a friend like that, because you don't want to surround yourself with like yes men that are like, oh no, that's great, because that's not helpful,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
it isn't. But yeah,
Like
like
get. I've always tried to be that friend for a lot of people. I don't think most people appreciate that. Like, because I'm brutally honest with my musician friends. Like,
yeah.
listen to this song, and I'll be like, well, you should keep this. And then they're like, oh, why did I even bother asking you? Like, you know what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
I'll tell
no,
you if it's good or
exactly.
not.
Exactly.
Like, be that friend for people and find yourself one of those friends. That's what you need. Everybody needs that.
Yeah, and I mean, I just saw this too. Like, if you want to get into, fixing guitars or building or whatever, there's got to be someone that or like someone has like a busted guitar in their closet. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
everyone has that uncle or
Look on
whatever.
like look on Facebook Marketplace,
Oh
like
yeah,
people,
yeah.
if you are constantly watching that, like I've seen like very expensive guitars that people had no idea what it was. They're just throwing it on there for $100 or whatever just to get rid of it. Like,
Yeah,
or yard sales, whatever, people,
yeah,
or
yeah.
estate sales. Like, that's the way to go. It's
Absolutely,
out
yeah.
there. If you want to just get your hands on something, yeah, I'm sure you have a family member that's got one just sitting in the closet.
Yeah, I guess
If
it
you want
comes
to get
back.
into it, you can
Yeah,
do
it
it.
comes back down to that. Just do it, I guess, then, right? Like,
Yeah,
you just need the
you'll find a
resources
way.
are out there. We have
Exactly.
YouTube, you have power tools. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
Beg,
all
borrow, and steal tools from everybody. That's
exactly.
what I
Yeah, no,
did.
damn it, just go out into the forest and chop a tree down. Like
Yeah. And then you're gonna learn how to dry out the wood and all that too. Yeah, go. The first couple guitars I built, I think I bought wood at like Home Depot. Like, they
no
sell
kidding.
poplar and maple. Like,
That's
those are
funny.
perfectly fine.
That's really
So
funny.
like, some people say, "Oh, don't do that. The wood's not good." It's fine. It'll be good.
See that's funny when it comes. The people that say that, those are the ones that aren't doing shit. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
The people that are
Yeah.
like, oh, don't do that. Oh, you can't
Yeah.
use
Don't. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see the guitar you built. Okay.
exactly. Like exactly. I
Let's see
can't
the
stand
song you wrote, guy. Come on.
I
Yeah.
can't stand those people that are quick to be like, it's fine if you're gonna
Yeah.
not or whatever, give me some constructive criticism, but like you have to be able to do it coming from, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let someone criticize like if you're like into working out or whatever and you have some like huge fat slobbery guy telling you, like I'm not gonna listen to you,
Exactly.
dude. You know
I
what I
just
mean?
I
Like
heard I heard somebody the other day, I think it might have been on YouTube or something, and they were talking about the haters. And he's like, "Yeah, you'll see the haters in the comments, but you know where I don't see them? At the bank."
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, so yeah, so don't let people like that be around you.
Exactly. Don't let the
Like
negativity. Yeah,
yeah, like because
just you do you. Just be yourself and do what you enjoy. Like, if you are enjoying the process of doing something, even if it does truly suck, if you're writing music and you're writing it for the enjoyment, who cares?
exactly,
Somebody,
dude.
there's a market for everything everywhere. Somebody out there will like it.
You know what? I love that you said that because that's one of the biggest things that I say is like if you have this thing, this like kind of burning thing inside of you, you need to do it because you're the only person that has this particular idea or this particular desire.
Yeah,
And there's going to be someone else out there that lines up with what, you know what I'm saying? So it's
exactly.
like you need to like listen to your gut and just do it.
Exactly. Just do it and be genuine about it. And that will come
Absolutely.
through. And everybody loves it when somebody's genuine. Like,
Absolutely.
if
Absolutely.
if they can see that you love what you're doing, they will watch, or
Totally.
they'll follow it or whatever.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
like, everything in this world is fake right now. You look on Instagram or Facebook, nobody posts, the bad parts of their life. It's always
Dude,
like, look at
I
my
was
new
just
car, look at this,
yeah, dude, I was just gonna say that. Like everyone posts their like A game or whatever. Like
exactly,
no one's gonna post like
but not
just
crying
got
in their
my
bedroom
third
because nobody likes
DUI.
them. Yeah, exactly.
With like their, selfie.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, some people do, and those people are special, but but yeah, it's like everybody's posting their A game, like you said, and it's like the internet's not real. Nothing out there is real. So
I hear
be
you, dude.
genuine, be honest, and people you'll you attract what you put out there.
Hey, you know what? That's a really good place to end right there, Corey. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your work. And well, I'll put links to your YouTube channel. Do you have like a website for your guitar stuff and everything? I'll put links to all that.
I don't
If you
have I don't have a website yet. I do
okay,
have a Facebook and Instagram right now. They're both
okay,
CRC Guitars.
okay,
Uh, it's
perfect.
CRC underscore guitars on Instagram and just CRC Guitars on Facebook.
Okay,
There
okay,
is like
all right.
another CRC Guitars, but he's like in England. It's like CRC Guitar Academy or something like that. He
Oh,
teaches you how to
okay.
play.
I see. Okay, okay.
So like I'm not that guy,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Awesome.
my YouTube channel isn't it's live, but there's nothing on it yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah. Well,
so don't worry about that.
you'll probably have
Yeah,
a
if everybody checks out my my other social medias, I'll be posting when that stuff
yeah,
goes
yeah, that
live.
makes
So
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm gonna be forcing it down everybody's throat.
There you
So
go. Awesome. Well, Cory, dude.
watch it whether you like it or not.
Well, dude, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate everything.
Thanks
And
for having me on. This is fun.
yeah, no, it was great having you on, and we'll have to have you on again, hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, for sure. I'll
But
get you updated when all the cool stuff is happening.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, everyone. So thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for downloading, and don't forget to embrace your storm. See ya.